Hello, my name is Rani Iswara and I am 1922031A from class B3 2019. Here I explain about definition the role of interpreting. Role is a social construct used to explain behavior and examine attitude between at least two participants in any social situation. There are two dimensions to the interpreter's role: the interpreter's own attitude toward that role can be defined as the ideographic dimension, the expectation and attitude which a social system variously defined part of the interpreter can be referred to as the normative dimension. In a hospital setting, for example, the ideographic dimension would include all the interpreter misgiving about the nature of the situation, the context of health and sickness, and the physical condition of the work. The normative dimension encompasses the attitude of the hospital as employer, whether the interpreter is employed on a casual or full-time basis, and its expectation of the interpreter. The interpreter might be seen by the hospital as a helper in the care of patients and so be assignments which are private to the general category of helper, but are not interpreting tasks. If the interpreter consistently accedes to this request, the role thus constructed contains elements which fall clearly outside. Here, the role of the interpreter is created not during or because of, but outside the performance of the interpreting function. While the intention of the clients are honorable, they place the interpreter in the invidious situation of having to deal with a discrepancy in the expectation of the interpreter and each of the clients. Other issues related to the presence of the interpreter are even more likely to affect the long-term view of the interpreter by the client. The client sees the interpreter as a language converter, not as someone who is concerned with communicating her. The model of a tap which can be turned on and off at will and which will produce language, any language. The interpreter is seen only in terms of language competence, and conversely, the assumption in that language competence is tantamount to interpreting competence. Furthermore, the client's regard is likely to depend on the number of languages they believe the interpreter speaks. If this language competence issue is to be placed in its proper perspective, we must specify other skills which differentiate the work of an interpreter from that of a bilingual, whether performed in the simultaneous or the consecutive mode. Liaison interpreting involves operations on the message and not on the language. The essence of interpreting skill is to receive a message which is not formulated for the interpreter and to deliver that message in a form and a character indistinguishable from the original. Sometimes the terms translation and translator incorporate the notion of interpreting and interpreter. The second concerns the interpreter often being asked to perform side translation, whereby a written document relevant to the situation, for example, a lawyer's or client's interview, is passed to the interpreter for immediate oral translation. Thank you for watching and apologize for the wrong word. Okay, see you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.